Because I've been doing that with Kiana for
Wait,
years.
do you have song of the week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
I've been doing that with Kiana for years, and that's like we dance. I know it sounds corny, but
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah, I sing that and we dance.
That's cute.
La-dee-dee, la-dee-doo, la-dee-da.
That's actually really cute. I love that.
Oh, we've been doing that for years, and then we started to teach Maisie and Jude a little bit here. And there.
Aw. All right, I got my
gotta
song
go on
of the
for
week.
generations.
Got my song of the week.
La-dee-dee, la-dee-doo, la-dee-da.
La-dee-dee,
I feel like it's
la-dee-dee.
definitely like I don't think I made it up. I think it's from something. Like I'm pretty sure it's from a movie or a TV show.
Probably.
I'm almost
Sounds like Steve
certain.
Martin.
That doesn't sound right. Whatever it's from, I will find out someday.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
Welcome back to another episode of
Let's
Grown
go.
Up Kids.
let's go.
The Christmas season has passed for you all in the podcast listening world.
Yeah. Yep. Christmas
Hasn't
is
passed
done.
for us,
Nope.
technically,
Yep.
but-
It hasn't happened yet. But
But-
that's all right.
But we are so excited for it.
I know. I'm pumped.
It's actually in a week, exactly a week from right now
Yep.
when we're filming
Yeah,
this.
today is 1 week before Christmas. We solidified our Christmas plans, and so speaking in a future tense, Christmas Eve was so fun to celebrate Christmas with you. That was a great time.
Again and again and again, as we have for so many years.
Whatever.
Seth tried to tell me that we don't spend Christmas Eve together like a month ago or whatever. And I was like, we always spend Christmas Eve. And he was like, I wouldn't say usually. And I was like, we always have Christmas Eve with you guys since you guys have been married. And he's like, no. And Kiana and I both were like, yes. And I went back to my camera roll. Oh, look at that. Christmas Eve 2023. Well, not 2023 because I wasn't here. 2022. Christmas Eve 2021. Christmas Eve 2020. Christmas Eve 2019. Like, it was basically every year.
Gay. Can't say that on the podcast.
You said K.
Okay.
Anyway, always making my job more difficult.
I didn't think it through.
It's okay.
All right. Well,
Anyways,
anyway, song of the week, huh?
song of the week.
Post Christmas song of the week. We're back into the swing of things of just
Normal music.
normal music. One song of the week.
I feel like I've been listening to normal music.
I have been listening to a mixture of normal music and Christmas music. Absolutely.
I was listening to Christmas music this morning, but typically I do just listen to normal music.
That's legit. Nah, so my song of the week this week is the song Stand Out by Tevin Campbell
From the extremely goofy movie.
from just the original Goofy movie
Oh.
soundtrack.
I
Yeah.
really was going to say that. And then did you hear the G that came out before I said extremely?
Extremely.
And then I was like, oh no, it's the second one.
it's not. It
It's
is
the first one. Dang it.
But that song, I know literally every word. I know all the little, the stuff that he does, like
Mhm.
little ad libs.
It's like Michael Jackson kind of.
Oh, it's definitely that vibe. Yeah.
It's supposed to almost like be.
Yeah. The character power line is kind of supposed to be Michael Jackson-y.
Yeah. Great movie.
and man, literally one of the greatest like movie soundtrack songs
It's really
I've
good.
ever heard. Ooh, gives me all the feels. I love listening to it when I drive. Stand out.
Above the crowd.
Yeah.
It's such a good song.
Yeah, it's really good. It just makes you feel like the man. So
The Man.
there's another song.
Called The
I'm
Man.
the man. I'm the man. I'm the man.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
that too. I was thinking of The Man by Killers.
Isn't that song called The Man by Aloe Black?
Yeah, but there's also a song called The Man by The Killers.
Got it.
And it's a great song.
Nice. I mean, sounds like any songs that kind of pump you up as a person are pretty
I'm
great.
the
So-
man. Yeah.
Nice.
My song of the week is Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree
Cool.
by The Dawn and Tony Orlando. I was in San Francisco. Actually, Bella is about to join us for the next episode that we film. My best friend. One of Seth's best friends as well. And
Thanks.
Bella, when we lived in California, we went to San Francisco one day for her birthday. We left super early in the morning. I drove the entire time, Bella's car, down to San Francisco. It's like a 3 or 4 hour drive. And then we were just like did stuff all in San Francisco all day. It was like a big group of us girls. Actually, one of our friends, Sadie, we put her in the trunk of Bella's car because there wasn't enough seats, and we drove all the way there and back with someone in the trunk. It's like an open trunk where like, you know, you look over the back seat and you're looking into the trunk. It's not like an enclosed. She was in the trunk of the car. But, and then it was like on the way back that it dawned on me, like, this is really stupid that we're doing this. Why did we just drive all the way to San Francisco and back with someone in the trunk? Like,
Right.
that was so dumb.
But also not that big of a deal.
No, but like at the same time, like, what would I do if I got pulled over? That was so stupid. And because I drove the entire day.
Yeah, like
Which
you be in some
also,
trouble, just don't get pulled over.
I will get to the point of why I'm saying this, but driving in San Francisco is the absolute worst thing in the entire world.
Interesting.
It is quite literally so horrible.
Because of how hilly it is?
Everything about it is terrible. How hilly it is. I'm not joking. I will say I truly wholeheartedly believe I'm a great driver. And I feel like I've had really good drivers tell me I'm a great driver.
Mm-hmm.
I ran like 3 red lights in San Francisco. Like it is
accident?
Yeah, because they're like so weirdly placed. They're like, you don't know that you're running a red light until you're already through it. I literally ran like a red light, and then they're like, Jesse, and I was like, oh shoot. And by the time I'm saying, oh shoot, I'm running another red light. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, did you see those? Because I didn't see them. And
Clearly
they were like,
they did.
they didn't see
like,
them though
Jesse,
until it was already happening either.
Fair.
But just like, I never do that. And I did it like 3 times in a day in San Francisco.
That's tough.
And like parking there
Girls.
is horrible. And it's so expensive. Everything there is so expensive. And also terrifying because people break into your cars everywhere you go. They have signs everywhere that like, beware of smash and grab. You literally can't leave like a penny in your car without somebody breaking into it. Legit. Like they tell you,
I mean,
do
there's
not
no
leave.
way people are smashing and grabbing for a penny.
They literally say like, do not leave a scrap of paper in your car because people will break into your car. Actually, again, I will get to the point of why I'm bringing this up. But
Okay.
Another San Francisco car story. We went with friends to see Novo Amor in San Francisco. Me and a bunch of my film friends, Cara, who's on the podcast before. And we went and parked near the Golden Gate Bridge to like go on the
Fun.
bridge and stuff like that.
Fun.
The entire parking lot says like, there's signs everywhere. Do not leave belongings in your car. Smash and grabs happen, blah, blah, whatever. And we had a car full of all our stuff because we were staying in a hotel that night. And we had like in the trunk of the car I was driving was all of our stuff, including like my camera bag with my
Whoa.
camera, all these things, like just dumb. But it was in a trunk where you couldn't see the trunk. So like we were like, maybe it'll be fine. And then we all drove 2 cars. So then there was another car also full of stuff. But that car, I think you could see into it. We were there for probably like an hour and a half. And when we got back to the parking lot, as we were like walking up to our cars, someone smash and grabbed the car right next to one of ours.
You watched it happen.
Our friends like were walking up to their car to get in the car, and they literally like did it right there. Like glass on the ground, window broken, right next to the car that we were driving.
What the heck?
It happens all the time. Like you look up news articles and like the newscasters who are trying to report on the news have security with them to prevent theft, and people still smash and grab like the news vans that are trying to report on the fact that they're happening.
That's absurd.
It's like in San Francisco is quite possibly the worst place I've ever been. Like the
I've heard this from
history,
multiple people.
the history is really cool, and like the buildings are so fun. Like the first time when we went for Bella's birthday, it was definitely better. The second time I went, and then I also have gone a third time, it just every time I went, I hated it more every time. Like it just feels icky. You feel gross. You feel like it's just not pleasant.
Dang.
Yeah.
That makes me hate the 49ers. even
Yeah,
more than I
don't
already
think
do.
I wasn't a fan of them already, but
Yeah, it
it's
pissed
a
me off.
cool city. I think it's just become super broken, and like the government doesn't help it very much.
The fact that
There's like drugs on there's a crazy homeless person doing literally with like a needle in their arm on like every corner.
that's absurd. I just feel like that's the kind of stuff where you do ask the questions, and I know it must be deeper than this, but like, what is law enforcement doing? And I get that. Like, and there's so many things there. There's
Right, that's a
there's
very like
budgeting. There's
big question.
Right. It's so deep. But I just like I want to know the depths of why it doesn't happen or why it's not
Yeah.
working. Like I'm curious
Yeah.
because it sounds like, in theory, an uneducated person on how law enforcement can
Right.
make an impact would say, just go in there and start arresting people, and people would get their act
Yeah.
together. But I'm 100%
It's like
sure it's deeper
They've
than that.
shut down like all the major department stores have pulled out of San Francisco. Like they don't have any
that's
in there.
absurd.
Like all the stuff that used to be downtown there was like Macy's and like Target, like all these things
That's crazy.
have left because the amount that they would lose in theft was like running the stores out of business.
That's just ridiculous.
And it's the same law. I think it's a law here, but I know it's a law in California where they won't even like open a case if it's not more than like I don't remember what the number is. It's like $850 or $1,000 in damages. Like of what you're stealing totals up to that amount.
That's craziness.
Like the police won't even do anything.
That's absurd.
So like they can't actually like do anything if someone steals from them. So at that point it's like, well, if you're literally losing all your inventory and nothing's happening, there's no repercussions, then like, yeah, why would you have a store there?
The no repercussions thing doesn't even make sense. How?
It costs more money, I think, for them to really like open a case, get the money back, like do all this stuff than it does for them to just take the hit.
See, that's just that there's something broken in
yeah.
the system.
And I will
That's
say, like, I'm
what is
sure
happening?
a person that's like native to San Francisco, like lives there, would probably be like, oh, this makes me sad because they know there's probably so many good things. But like, I think about Detroit. People really dog on Detroit, and Detroit is fantastic.
Detroit's actually awesome.
like absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there is probably a side of San Francisco that like people really
It's
do
amazing.
love and
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I will say I have experienced some San Francisco that was great, but then like the second and third time I went, it just gotten worse. So I'm like,
That's great.
my perception of it is like, it sucks. But I'm sure there is like a great side of San Francisco.
Yeah, for sure.
All that to say,
the song.
we went, man, for Bella's birthday, and we were walking downtown San Francisco by the water towards like Ghirardelli Square, where like Ghirardelli Chocolate has like a store and stuff like that.
Dope.
And a guy drove by on a bike, and he had a big speaker on the back, and he was playing that song. And I didn't know what it was, but I was like, I know that I like that song. And I took a video. And so then we had like a snippet of a song in the video, and I played it on like the Google thing that would like tell you, tried Shazam, everything. Nothing was coming up. Sadie, our one friend, and I sat there, and my one friend Yana too, sat in my room. Yana and I were in my room, sat searching for like an hour through like, I knew it was like a 70s song. That's all I could really tell. I tried looking up every combination of the lyrics that I thought I was hearing. Nothing was coming up. We went through like a playlist of like top 170s songs from
Dang.
like all the decades.
Dang.
Tried to find it, could not find it, could not. Like we're searching and searching because I really wanted to make an edit where I lined up my video with the song.
Mm.
And so I was like, I've got to find this. And then I told Sadie about it. Sadie's more of a music musician than
Music
What?
musician.
magician.
Magician. There we go.
Music magician than even I am, because I think within like 20 minutes of me telling her I couldn't find it, she had found it.
That's unbelievable.
And I feel like I explored every possible option that I had and
That's
didn't find
awesome.
it, but she found it. And then I did that. I made a video where it lined up with the bike,
that's
the
incredible.
guy on the bike playing it on the speaker, and then it like faded into the real song. I felt pretty cool about it actually.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then now it's just like a song that I love. The song's actually really sweet too. So
Let's go.
that's my story for the song.
That's great.
Anyway,
Stories
long-winded
like
version.
that for songs are. It's just very worth it.
Yeah. Kate and I were actually talking about this because he was like, I listened to my Discover Weekly this week and that was trash. The first 4 songs were terrible. And I was like, oh, really? And then he gets in the car and plays it for me. The first song is not A-Punk, Oxford Comma by Vampire Weekend. So I was like, there's your first offense because that's one of my favorite songs.
That's crazy.
So what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
And then he was
actually.
like, on my second listen, it's better. And I was like, Okay. And then
That's legit.
the second song was
That happens though.
The second song was one that I like kind of knew as well. The third song was Cold Cold Man by Saint Motel. And I was like, this is also one of my songs that like
What?
I rocked with back in the day. And still, it's a great
You
song.
rocked with it.
Like when I lived in Wisconsin, that whole album was like, that was it.
Phenomenal.
And then I was like, we played that. He was like, actually, this is a really good song. And I was like, what the frick is wrong with you? And then it was like literally his
Must have
whole.
just been in a mood.
It was like
the first time.
all of his Discover Weekly was these songs that like I know and love. And I was like, he was like, I didn't even listen this far. And I was like, well, even the ones you did listen to, you should be saying are good songs.
No, give my guys some slack. Sometimes they just
Yeah.
don't hit right to
No,
your
but
eardrums.
that's what we ended up saying. That's why I brought this up, is that we did say like sometimes you hear a song and it's like it's good, but then it's like you almost need an experience to tie with the song for
Yeah.
it to become one of your favorites.
Yes, 100%.
And so, because then I was like, now you're gonna like this song because we listened to it together and laughed about the fact that you said it wasn't good. And then you now know it's one of my favorites. So now you've listened to it and you realize it is good. So now you'll like the song because you have like
Yeah.
a thing attached to it.
I feel like that's how rap is for me. I'll listen to rap and I'll think, this song's good. I love this beat. I love these lyrics. This is fire. But as soon as you and maybe like a friend that listen to the song, you guys know it, you get in a car and you start rapping or singing or whatever together,
Mm-hmm.
like me and Rocco on the way to Cedar Points with
Yeah.
all of our songs,
Right.
those songs became legendary,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
because there was an experience.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
anyways,
Yep.
all right, 2025 goals, eh?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This episode, we are going to, in the spirit of the new year,
Yeah.
do some goals or just like things we want to see happen in 2025.
That's right.
Because now it's 2025 for these people.
It might be.
It is.
Yeah. It might be.
Maybe it's not.
I don't know what day this episode is releasing, but it's either about to be 2025
it might be
or
the very
it's
end
been
of December,
2025 for a couple days.
It might be coming out like on a holiday,
Yeah.
potentially. Oh no,
No.
it's coming out December 29th.
Solid.
It's December 29th.
almost 2025.
But actually, by the time some people listen to it.
Yeah, good point.
Anyways,
Anyway,
we're going to do some goals. Oh, I need it because I'm looking at my list. We're going to do some
Right.
goals for 2025.
yes.
Some serious ones, some not serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to claim most of the not serious ones. But
And
yeah.
mine are mostly serious.
Yeah. Good. Good balance. I'll start.
That's usually about how it goes between
Yeah.
us, I feel like.
I'll start.
'Kay.
I really want to go on a vacation in 2025 to somewhere that is cold, chilly, snowy, and do some like skiing and snowboarding.
Really?
So badly. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
That's
don't-
so interesting.
I really don't know if 2025 is going to be the year that it works out because our kids are so young, but I really
feel
want
like
to
I
find
could
a way.
totally see Maisie and Jude absolutely shredding on a snowboard.
Oh, they would love it and they would be great at it. It's just a matter of OJ's really young now, like
Yeah.
really little.
Right.
And so I don't know how easy it would be.
The oldest he'd be if you did this is like if you did at the end of the year next year, he'd only newly be one.
Yeah, he'd be one. So it's like,
Strap him to you.
yeah, it'd be tough, but I really want to do that.
That would be fun.
I think
That'd
it'd
be super fun.
Like
I
I feel
feel
like
like-
you could do spring. Like you could do spring in Canada and they'd still be super cold
Yeah.
and super snowy.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Have you seen the videos where that dad like straps a mic to his like 5-year-old daughter while she's snowboarding? And then he like takes
I
a
think-
video of her from like while he's snowboarding behind. And so
Yeah.
then you hear all her little commentary.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Yeah, I have seen
And she's
those.
like, whoa, big hill. And like, we'll go over it or something and be like, wow, I did that one really good or something. It just sounds like stuff like Maisie and Jude would say. I feel like it's so cute though.
that's a genius idea for a parent
yeah.
to do. Is strap a mic to your kid and let them do things and experience things. And
Oh my gosh.
catch
Like
all
just
their
the little
comments.
things they say that like, they're not saying because they're like, they think you're listening. They're just saying it because it's like what they're saying to themselves.
100%.
Oh, it's so cute. That'd be fun to do.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good goal
Thanks.
or like a good fun thing.
Yeah.
Mine is
Hopeful.
I'm gonna expose myself a little bit,
Oh, okay, go for it.
but not enough to like really do anything because I don't want to. But I did write a song in this year,
Okay.
and it is out on streaming things. I just don't tell anybody about it
Wait, what?
because I sent it only to Caden. But I wrote it in California and like just like kind of recorded it acoustic and I sent it to Caden. It was on his Spotify Wrapped actually.
No way. What is happening?
I mean, I have one monthly listener. It's Caden, but I did write a song. I wrote it for Caden and I put it out so it could be like a surprise, like, hey, I did this for you, so that it was cooler than just like maybe sending it to him. I thought it'd have like more oomph if I like put it out for real.
Sure.
So I have like a Spotify, like I have like an artist profile. It's not under my first name, so it's like a little like, I mean, it's not hard to find, but it's a little harder to find. And put a song out, but Caden's about to release a song. No, that would have been funny. But
Jessica.
Caden is about to release a song that he wrote when we first started dating, and it is so good.
Really?
It is so good. I hope it's out actually by the time this comes out, and if it is, I'll put it in like our show notes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's about me. So like, what can I say? It's literally called Striped Shirts, so like it's about me.
Oh god.
But anyway, it's so good. And him and I keep talking about writing music together. And so my goal for 2025 is to write a song and release it together.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I want to hear the song.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do I'm not going to push anything more than I have for people to be able to find it. I mean, if you find it, whatever. It's not that hard to find, but
I don't know how I would find it.
Well, good. I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to advertise it.
No, I know how I can find it.
Through Cadence?
Kind of.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I know how I can find it.
But yeah,
I'm gonna try. And then I'm going to post it
It's
everywhere.
like a really rough, like, I mean, I purposely made it like really rough.
Rough, like RUFF, like Rough Riders.
Like ROUGH.
Nah, that's not as cool.
Yeah, I literally didn't tell like anybody. I mean, I think like Cara knows and Caden knows, and that's about it.
That's crazy. That
I might have
that's
sent it to
crazy that
Stone actually,
Wow.
but he probably has forgotten
Okay,
about
you
it.
should
at
stop
this point.
talking. I'm getting more
Anyway,
and more offended
sorry.
as time goes on.
No,
I'm
my
just
bad.
kidding, I'm joking.
Anyway, what's your next thing?
All right, my next one is, this is my one kind of like serious one. Just be a more avid listener to like messages and podcasts, especially like spiritual growth stuff.
That's a good
An
one.
obvious favorite of ours is a
DT.
guy by the name of Damon Thompson. And so Damon Thompson Ministries is like the name of the podcast channel, and a lot of his messages go on there. The other day I was outside doing this horrible yard work. Like, it was raining the entire time. My shoes were muddy. There was mud on my pants. I was cold and wet. It was one of the worst like 3-4 hour experiences of my life. It was truly terrible. But the entire time I was listening to Damon. And
was it
I'm not joking.
which one was it?
There
Because there's one that I listened to twice this week that was really good.
There's some older ones.
Oh, okay.
It was The Perils of Being Driven by the Wrong Winds, where he's talking to some a group of leaders, and then there's some other one.
I don't think I listened to that one.
But it was like August-y, September-y time when he did them, so it's a few months ago. But I'm telling you right now, these messages were, I mean, it was so good. It was so encouraging. I was actually just like thinking about people and thinking about like God's love for them while he was preaching, and like I was starting to like tear up and cry while I was outside, which would have looked like I was crying because of how horrible it was, but I was actually crying just
That's funny.
while doing this yard work because it's just so good, you know? So
Yeah.
I want to be doing that more. I really trust Damon Thompson as a teacher and a speaker, and I just want to listen to more of his stuff. There's other people out there to listen to and trust as well, but
Yeah.
I don't think I have that level of trust in anybody as a speaker the way that I do in Damon.
Yeah.
So,
I would probably agree.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I just want to be listening to more, and it's every time I listen to it, it's fun and it's like a worthwhile thing to listen to it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I not do this?
Yeah.
It's so good.
I actually just sent our friend Hannah one that it's a newer one that he came out with, because Hannah and I lead like a high school girls home group together
Yep.
in your youth ministry.
Yep.
And we've been reading through John, and like from the very beginning, it was something that I think I said like one of the very first chapters we read. We were just talking about how like Jesus is never insecure. Like there's so many instances throughout John that like people are talking to him and they're just like, "You're like, what do you mean?" And blah blah blah, and he just kind of is like, "You don't get it yet. That's fine. You'll get it,
Yeah,
and
very
you'll see
true.
that I'm the truth."
Yeah,
And then just kind of like walks away.
yeah.
And it's so gentle. Like he's not bothered by people not understanding him or who he is or his father. And so we made a point about like, wow, Jesus is literally never insecure. And then it's kept coming up. Like we just read John 8 last week,
Mm.
and it came up like in a big way again. And then I listened to this message on like Friday last week or something.
Is it a newer one?
I think it's the newest one, maybe.
Nice.
Or it was last week. And in the first 10 minutes, he like talks all about exactly that and puts a ton of language to it. And I sent it to our friend Hannah because I was like, the whole message is really about that, but he like goes in on exactly like why
That's
that is
awesome.
and like stuff like that. It was really cool.
That's incredible. I love that. We weren't made to be insecure in any way, shape, or form.
No, we really weren't.
Yeah. Amen.
Oh, that was yours. So then this is mine.
Okay, dope.
My next one is get married. I'm gonna.
Man, that's such a
gonna get married this year. I mean,
Such an
it's more a
interesting
thing
goal.
that's just gonna happen than it is like a goal.
Yeah, just 2025 happenings at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But yeah, get married and buy a house
Let's go
and make it a home.
make it a home.
There's a quote in the dinner party episode of The Office that's only in the extended version where Michael,
like the superfan cut.
yeah, and
Okay.
Michael's trying to like console Jan while she's crying, and like it's when they're all sitting down at dinner, and Pam is kind of like, keep going, like keep saying stuff to her, and Michael's like leaning at her side, and he's like, "You have come in here and you've made this home a house," and he's like, "It's like a museum. You can't touch anything." And I'm like, but I just love that quote. "You've made this home a house." And he's like trying to be
That's
so
so good.
encouraging.
That's so good.
But anyway.
I have not gotten past season 3, maybe.
Where
with this
Caden
superfan.
and I are in season 7 right now, and it's the first time he's really like watching all of season 7 all the way through, and I'm like, oh, you're in for so many emotions right now.
Right.
Season 7 is just a roller coaster.
Is the dinner party?
That's in
episode
season
3 or 4?
That's not in season 7.
3 or 4?
Oh. I want to say 4.
Yeah,
I think it's 4 episode 13.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So those are mine.
Ooh,
Get married.
It would be 4. Okay.
Get married and buy a house. Honestly, like I just want our wedding to be so fun.
Amen. It's
and
going
like
to be
it's
so
going to be
fun.
so much fun. Honestly, probably just because of the people. Like
Yeah.
and who Kate and I are and who like both of our families are, like we just are people who choose to enjoy life, kind of like no matter what the circumstances would look like. Like pretty much no matter what our wedding would be, I feel like we'd all just be like, okay, like we're going to have so much fun.
Agreed.
And it's not going to rain because like the Lord loves me so much. But even if it did, it'd be like, okay, well then like we're going to have a blast.
Dance in the rain.
Yeah. That'd be so romantic. Sweet.
Dancing in the rain. Oh, it's singing. Singing in the rain. Shoot. I was
I
like,
think he
that's
does
a song.
say at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the version from
After all
Robots.
that work and toil.
I'm just slipping
singing
in the oil.
Is it slipping?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unreal. Yeah, that's hilarious. That you
I'm
brought up
covered
robots
in lubricant.
As you reference robots,
you
I was
were already
already
doing
singing.
it. Yeah, that's funny.
incredible.
All right, what's your next one?
All right, my next one is to abuse a gym membership. Abuse a gym membership.
Why are you using that word?
Because I want to get a gym membership and then I want to abuse it. As in, I want to use
Use
it
it?
so much.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to abuse
So
it.
you want to get,
No, I'm not.
is
I'm
it
not
bulking
really,
season?
No. Nope. I'm not really looking for that. I actually just.
You just want to be in the gym.
I think there's more of there's like a psychological thing that happens for me when that happens. I've also like, I'll never stop being very active. Like there's
Mhm.
days where I'm at work and I'm walking from in our building from point A to point B. And some days I'll just run it. Like I'm just chilling. Like
And you wonder why Maisie and Jude run everywhere.
I know they are my children. It's crazy. They have my personality to a T. It's wild. But so I'll just never like stop making decisions like that. Like if I see a group of my students or leaders or whatever throwing a football around or playing a game of basketball, like
Forever Young.
You don't got to say a thing. Like I'm in. Like
Grown
I'm
up
just gonna
kids.
join. Right. And in that, recently, like a few months ago it happened, and then it actually happened a few weeks ago, and this one's like healing a lot better, but I definitely like tore my abdomen one time. I like jumped for a ball and I just like super like outstretched all the way, kind of jumped. And I definitely tore an abdomen muscle, and it was rough. Like I there was days where I felt like I couldn't move or like put my hands above my head because it would stretch out like your abdomen.
That makes me like hurt just thinking about it.
It was horrible. And you could feel like the bump of almost what felt like scar tissue underneath the skin or whatever.
Oof.
It was really tough. And it took a long time for that to
making me feel
heal.
queasy.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
I'm sorry. It's involuntary.
And then I did it again on my right, like almost on more like an oblique maybe. But so, and that's ridiculous. Like that's crazy to me. And it's like, why would my abdomen muscles be doing this? Like either it was two freak accidents or like maybe my muscles are like
just not used to it.
Less. Yeah, exactly. Like they're not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, forget this. I'm going to be running around with my kids till I'm 85, 90 years old.
100.
Yeah, 120 probably, maybe like 150. So I don't actually believe that it's our destiny to die when we get old, but that's a whole other topic that
you just open a whole can of worms.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't believe we were created to die, but it's
or
all
decay.
Or decay. That's a great point. Point is, I'm gonna be running around for a long time beyond 30 years old.
Yeah.
And so I'm chilling, and I want to abuse a gym membership and get to a point where I could jump, stretch, lean over, roll around. Jude loves to wrestle. It's like I want to be able to wrestle with this guy and OJ as he gets older and like not be tearing muscles. Like what a ridiculous thing to experience. So pissing me off, and I won't have it. I won't have it.
Fully agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
Fire.
My next one's like probably the most serious one I have.
Okay. My next one is the least serious one.
I might need to unpack mine a little bit.
Okay. Well.
But I said dive into understanding and overcoming fear, like with the Lord. I was just talking to our friend Bella, who's going to be on the next episode, about this the other day or yesterday. But like in the last year, but I've really noticed it in the last like 6 months-ish or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. That like when we were younger, like up until I was probably like 18, 19, I was so afraid of people. Like I was so afraid of what people thought of me. You know, like I was always really shy. I would always like hide in the office after church until it was like time to leave. Unless like we had like our friends. But like when it came to pretty much anybody else, like I was always afraid of people. Even when we moved to Wisconsin, I was like going to the college group, like young adults thing that we went to, like took me a while to like want to get Chi Alpha.
Thank you, Chi Alpha.
It took me a really long time to like actually want to go, and I wouldn't go unless I knew like you were going or something for the first bit, because like I just have always been not always, but like up until that point, I'd always been really just like afraid of people or scenarios where like I didn't know what was going to happen or felt uncomfortable or whatever. And now I'm like not afraid of any of that.
Yeah.
At all. And like don't care at all what people think. I mean, sometimes I do for like a second until I like think about it, and then I'm like, oh, this doesn't matter. And I let it go.
Right.
But like I'm not afraid of any of that kind of stuff anymore. But I've noticed in the last like year or so, I've become so I shouldn't say I have become so afraid. I'm starting to figure out like I need to change some of the language I say around it. Okay. But I've definitely become a lot more tempted to be afraid of things that are so irrational. Like, and you're probably going to be like, what the frick? And I can't totally explain it. But even just I think about like our dad being gone, and I'm like, what if something happened to him? Or like Caden will drive home from like the house, and I'm like, I don't want him to get in a car accident, or like, what if like I'm sick or like diagnosed with something, like I have something in my body happening and like I don't know what it is, and like I develop some like disease. And to be honest, when I was talking to our friend Bella about it the other night, I think part of it stems from I had never experienced any sort of loss of like people I love that truly affected me until 2023. And we lost 2 people that are super important to us. Especially for me, like losing our cousin Erica was really hard. And then losing our grandpa was also super hard. So like, I just now, I mean, I think it's more than that, but I think I've just become more afraid of things that before I would hear people say they were afraid of. And I was like, that is so dumb. Why would you even question if that was going to, like, that's so stupid. And then I catch myself and I'm like mad at myself for being afraid. And then I think like, oh, if I'm afraid of it, is it going to like make it happen? So then I'm like, like, don't be afraid of it. But then I'm like, I can't like not stop thinking about it. Why am I afraid? Which this is a much bigger topic. It's probably like a whole episode worth of conversation. But all that to say, something I really want to understand, and something our Aunt Beth was talking to me about, is like, the Lord doesn't necessarily promise you like you're not gonna like be tempted to be afraid. But like, you kind of have to be okay with being tempted to be afraid, because like you walk through him with it and know that on the other side of it, you're totally fine and he's protecting and taking care of you or the people that you love, that you'd always be actually like, that you don't need to be afraid of that thing. And like showing you that you don't need to be afraid of it. And so, not that I think the Lord like causes you to go through things so that you have to overcome it, but I do think like he knows the things that I'm going to experience. So he knows the things that I need to learn to not be afraid of. And, so just like this year, I think I just really want to like understand some of that stuff, and then like understand how to walk through it. Not like I could really put myself on a timeline of like, by the end of 2025, I'm never going to be afraid of anything. I'm going to figure it all out. But like just trusting the Lord of, okay, like the things that are important for me to figure out with you, like I will. But I just want to be a little more intentional about like sitting and asking the Lord questions about it and understanding, and then figuring out overcoming it. Cause like, I don't want to be afraid. You know what I mean?
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's probably my most serious one.
Yeah. It reminds me of Paul gets bitten by the snake. They get shipwrecked. They're on their way to, oh gosh. Is it Athens? I can't remember. They're on their way somewhere for Paul to stand trial before Julius Caesar. And right now I cannot remember where that is that they're going. Rome? Frick me. I don't remember.
Anyway.
But they get shipwrecked, and then they all get to shore, and they make a fire, and Paul immediately gets bitten by the snake. It latches onto like his hand or his arm or whatever.
Yeah.
And he shakes it off into the fire. And like just I listened to a message by Damon Thompson, but he was talking about how just like, you know, Paul was obeying Holy Spirit on how to handle the situation and how to like speak to even the other people on the ship of like what to do. And like he was totally being led and then obeying and following the lead of Holy Spirit. And then even in that got bitten by a snake. But how he handled it was he shook it off into the fire. So the snake ended up in the fire burning.
That's really good.
And so he did get bitten, but it left no mark, and it didn't do anything to him, and he shook it off.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of power in that story. Actually.
Right. Because it's not like you can say like, I'm never going to experience anything in life that's like negative or has a thing where like it could lead to me being more afraid or having like negative emotions or experiences or whatever. Like, we live in a world where that stuff is going to happen. It's not of the Lord, but it does happen. Like, you can't guarantee that it won't. But it's like, knowing that it doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't change the outcome and like who the Lord is or who I am because of the Lord and stuff like that. So that's actually really, that's a great example.
Thanks, Damon Thompson, for teaching on that.
And you remembered it. So it definitely meant something to you. For
sure.
Which is cool.
For sure. All right. My next goal for 2020.
Is it like a silly one?
Yeah. It's to grow my hair out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to do that until nearer the end of the year because of your wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like, and not that you've mandated that of me, but I think I'm
I
gonna
kind of
rock-
have, though. We kind of said with Kiana, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't.
It was after I already made the decision.
Yeah,
so,
you are right.
yeah.
You were right.
But
I'll give you that one.
I think I'm just gonna like keep going with like a very like buzz cut.
The Travis Kelce.
Yeah, if you want to call it the Travis Kelce.
Every viewer we've ever had calls it Travis Kelce.
I know, it's crazy.
You said, oh, it's crazy. You definitely are enjoying it.
I'm indifferent to the Travis Kelce references.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't
I
matter
definitely
to me.
thought you would have like taken it and been like,
I mean, I just like Travis Kelce's cool, but he's just like one of 1,000 NFL players. Like, it's not like he's, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I guess you're
Yeah,
right.
but
Anyway,
what I mean is, I think I'm gonna rock that until after your wedding, and then basically, like, as soon as your wedding hits, like, no more haircuts for a while. Like, throw it out.
That's
I'm gonna
funny.
get my shaggy dog look back from my younger years, and we're just gonna roll with it. I think as I grow my hair out, I'll get rid of my beard more and more, because when I have long hair, I don't
yeah, to
wanna
like
have facial
balance
hair.
it out a little.
Yeah, I don't really like having facial hair with long hair. So it's like if
It
it's
looks a little
short
too
hair,
scraggly, maybe like scruff.
I just think like I look like I just
Mountain
look
man.
like an idiot because my hair is dark and then my beard gets kind of red. So I just look.
That
really
is, it is
stupid.
very red right now.
Yeah, it's just like not the greatest look,
Mm.
and it is what it is. Fine. So that's gonna be a goal for me in 2025. That I don't really like see it come to life until 2026, but it'll start in 2025.
Nice. My very last one is to read 50 books. And when I told Seth this earlier, he called me an owl.
That's crazy. 50 bucks in 1 year.
Last year, I read like 27 or something like that. This year, my goal was 50. I'm definitely not making it. This year got away from me when it came to books. It got away from me.
Every year of my life.
Between moving and like getting engaged and so many jobs and everything, like just, it got away from me.
What's the best book you read this year?
That's a good question. Let me
Oh,
let me
man.
consult my Goodreads, because I did just finish one that I was like, that might have been the best one I've read this year. Oh, give me a second.
For it. But this year you read like 30 something books, and so next year it's 50, and you feel like that's
I've only
doable.
read 20 books this year.
Oh shoot, you told me 30 something.
Oh, the best book last year I read 30 something.
Oh, gotcha.
Last year, the best book I read this year, it was probably, this was the very beginning of the year.
Okay.
So I almost don't want to say this one, but it was probably Bonhoeffer, the
Mm.
one that I was talking to you about the movie. That one's like more of a like serious book, but the best like other kind of book I read, The Silent Patient, crazy book. I hope they make a movie or a show about it, because it is such a wild story. Like, crazy plot twist that I just did not see coming, which is hard to do, I feel like.
Interesting.
Especially in a book. Like, I don't know. It was so good. So good.
Nice.
It's like a
That's legit.
thriller, almost like kind of mystery, but it's like a very popular book right now. But it was really, really good.
I think the best book that I read this year is Fox and Socks by
Great
Dr.
book.
Seuss.
Yeah.
I try to get through it. Every time I read to the kids, I try to see how far I can get into it without making a mistake, because it's a tongue twister book.
Yeah.
And there's been 2 times ever that I got through the whole book with making 0 mistakes. And it was like, when I finished reading the book, I couldn't give a rat's booty about Maisie or Jude's reaction or like what was next. I finished the book, the last word, and I got up and I was like, let's go. No way. Let's go. And then the second time I did it, I was like, I did it again. It's freaking out.
That's funny. Aw,
Fox
that's
and
sweet, though.
Socks. It's a great book.
Yeah, it is.
Gooey goo for chewy chewing. That's what that goo goose is doing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? What's your last one?
3 free fleas flew as the breezy breeze blew. You know what I'm saying?
You almost got that one.
Well, I just don't remember exactly how it goes without the book right in front of me, but yeah, it's about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, my last goal for 2025 is to finish, which this is actually this would be a tall task, but finish Star Wars Rebels with Jude.
Oh, nice.
So
Wow, we only have like 2025. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, you've got like a week.
There's like 14 days. These are 2025 goals. Finish Star Wars Rebels. So
Nice.
I do feel like that could be tough. Like we're in maybe like episode 7 or 8 right now, and we've only sat down to watch it like 2 or 3 times. So it's like it's not that crazy, but I don't sit down and watch shows with the kids like that often.
Yeah.
Like we'll do like family movie nights or whatever,
Mm,
but we try not to do too much TV, especially like during the day.
yeah.
So it actually is kind of a tall task. So we'll see. That's the goal.
That's a fun one.
It is fun.
I
And
like that.
He's gotten to the point now where he has this book, and there's 36 Star Wars characters in the
I'm
book.
pretty sure I got him that
did.
book. Okay. Because
You
I
did.
felt good about that.
Yeah,
When
there's a
you guys
little
were saying that he
inscription.
always opens it at nighttime, I was like,
Yep.
it feels good.
Yep. And
I
he's
think I
gotten to
got
the
it when
point
he
where
was kind of little. So I was like,
He's
this
very-
might be a while
he was
before he
like
gets into this.
1.5 or 2 when you got it for him. I
Yeah.
think like he is pretty young. And out of the 36 Star Wars characters that are there, he can now name. If I point
Gosh,
to
what a
them, he
guy.
can now name all 36. of
That's
them.
so amazing.
He's freaking 4.
That's so good. He came up to me when we were at your guys' house last, and he was like, not related to Star Wars, but just, I love Jude so much. And he came up to me and was like, Auntie Jessie. I was like, yeah. He's like, when you and Kaden get married, I'm gonna walk down the, and I was like, the aisle? And he's like, yeah, and I'm gonna bring you guys, and I was like, the rings? And he was like, yeah, with Oliver. And I was like, yeah, buddy. And he was like, yeah, just like he needed to tell me when we're the ones that asked him.
I love how he forgot 2 of the most
Yeah.
important words of the whole thing.
But it was
Aisle
really
and
sweet.
rings.
It was funny. That was cute.
It's incredible.
And it was just cute that he like knows the concept of like, oh, you two are going to get married,
Yeah.
which I was like, oh,
Yeah, I know, right?
but yeah. Anyway,
Wild.
it was fun. Which is going to happen in 2025.
2025.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We will see you for the rest of the year. Bye.